Welcome back, guys, to another backtesting session. You guys seem to love the last one, so we're back again with another one. So a quick rundown of what I do here. I go through my bias, high time frame delivery, and also my entry model. I enter off of inversion fair value gaps, but my main strategy is built around high time frame and liquidity, and the iFVGs are just to enter from. So this on screen right here are the general overall stats of my model, around an 80% win rate over the course of 242 trades. 68 break-evens, 140 wins, 34 losses, with an average risk-to-reward of around a 1-to-1. So I'm going to be going through this through my thought process in live time. We're going to be continuing from last session. So hopefully this can be informative to you guys. If you want more of these, let me know, and I'll keep doing more in the future. Okay, so let's jump into it. I usually do around a week or two's worth of data in these sessions. I'll simply do my analysis on the high time frame, just go through my thought process. Remember, guys, watching the trades I don't take is just as important as skipping to the trades, because everybody can catch the winning trades, right? When I take the good setups in backtesting, you guys are probably going to understand why they're such good setups. But watching and hear my thought process for the reasons that I'm not taking trades and not interested in taking trades in certain areas is extremely important as well. So right now we are looking slightly more bearish. Obviously, you start on a higher time frame, right? We've swept out this weekly high. We're delivering from the weekly gap. We are looking more bearish there. Go down to the daily time frame. Again, daily change in the state. We're looking very bearish on the daily. On the 4 hour as well, we're respecting this 4 hour bearish. Obviously, I'm looking for respect versus disrespect, bullish and bearish gaps. We're obviously disrespecting all these bullish gaps to the left as well. So definitely looking more bearish coming into this trade now. We're starting from the November 2022. I know some of you guys like to backtest and then come back and watch me the same. So we're starting from the 3rd of November 2022 if you would like to watch backtest this for yourself before watching this. So let's look all the way down to the lower time frame. Obviously it's looking like we'd want to see a manipulation higher, maybe into this unfilled hourly above. And we also have, let's see if we've got any high time frame draws. So we're inside a tiny 4 hour. We have a really obvious 4 hour swing down here, and it's obviously a really obvious 4 hour swing down here. So these are kind of my draws coming into the day. Am I bothered about this small at 4 hour? Of course not. No, it's extremely small. Does not overrule the high time frame trend here whatsoever. So over to the left, we have this intermediate low, but that is really it here. So looking at low time frame structure here, see if we can catch any type of short. Definitely more bearish. 4 hour on ES. Also very bearish. So yeah, let's just see what we get here. Coming into market up, and obviously play what we see. Mark out conditions. Do we have any obvious conditions coming into the day? We have obviously this unfilled hourly. A short from this unfilled hourly would make a lot of sense to me, but let's see where we generate the liquidity coming into the day. So we actually come lower first. Okay, and then we manipulate higher afterwards. It does make sense for sure to come up to this unfilled hourly. I would almost long to this because it's kind of a confirmed draw on liquidity here. Obviously, even if price is going to come lower, we'd anticipate this hourly to get tapped into anyway. So I'd potentially take a continuation long to this if we were to get one, which we haven't yet. Very choppy here. Nice liquidity above, but we're simply not getting anything here. Just dumping down. Here's 10 a.m. We could hit. Okay, so there's 10 a.m. Looks like we had some type of news there, most likely. So we'll mark that as a data wick resting just above there. Nice reaction from this low initially. We're not going to have any potential inversions here. This was just, yeah, this was the first 4 hour low. So nice reaction there inside of an hourly gap as well. Let's see how we react here. Okay, so straight to that, what looked like a data high there. 30 seconds short here. Obviously, we've just swept out this major sell side, so I'm not really interested in shorting here. If this works, I'm not too bothered. Okay, so that failed anyway, so a good fade there. See if we can get a potential continuation long higher here. It's 5 minute closes. Okay, so we have an unfilled 5 minute here. We could look for a continuation long here based off of that reaction there. Okay, so we have just tapped into the unfilled 5 there, I believe. Yeah, so delivered from the 5, manipulated the low. I like this liquidity we have resting above here as well. Nice liquidity resting higher. The problem here is we just don't really have any low time frame liquidity. But we have really good displacement out here. This 30-second would have been the trade. But because I'm a little late, I'll have to look at this 1 minute. Yeah, I'll have to look at this 1 minute here. I obviously could go back to the 30-second, but obviously that everyone will be saying that's hindsight. If I'd have seen this 30-second, I would have for sure been interested in it. But I'll take this just for the sake of the video. But we do have a nice CISD out of here as well. And you could just target a nice 1-to-1 on this trade. Of course, we have low resistance above, but yeah, I'll target a 1-to-1 on this trade. We're inside of a 15-minute gap here, but I'm anticipating this getting broken simply due to our reaction from the lows there. Unfilled hourly above, and we could put in an well, there is an unfilled 4-hour up here. Sorry, there is an unfilled 4-hour up there. So yeah, with this momentum, CISD 30-second inverse as well. We can go break even at the highs as we'll be back into that 15-minute gap, and we've got a 5-minute gap overruling a 15-minute gap here. So let's see what we get here. For some reason, I've placed a buy stop, which is not what we want to do at all. Yeah, there we go. Market order. Let's replay it. Very slow indeed. There we go. Let's move this down to 30 seconds so it doesn't move too quickly. Okay, nice move there back above the high. Stop loss to break even there. Oh, I don't know why FX replay is so laggy here. And looks like, are we going to get break even? No, we don't get break even. So there's TP. Very nearly got break even there. FX replay has about a 10-second delay on everything, which I'm not sure why. I could have probably held this, to be honest. This is just more high time frame LR, so I was looking for just a 1-to-1 here, obviously because I'm overall high time frame bearish, so I would easily take a 1-to-1 here. And in hindsight, it looked like it was the right decision because I would have got stopped at break even anyway. So yeah, don't need to catch that whole move there, especially considering we're not really in a great time. We're just at 10.20. 1-to-1 there with that displacement was very good. Obviously, if I'd seen that 30-second, I could have got a 1-to-1.6 just this internal high. So this was the trade here, to be completely honest, guys. This V-shape off of the 5-minute continuation, nice internal target here. You don't even have to battle with this 15-minute gap because we'd already be displacing out the 5, and we'd have that internal where this high right here would be where we are re-entering into the 15-minute. So this would have been a 1.6R. That was the best trade there, obviously. In lifetime, I might have seen that in backtesting. I didn't want to go back because obviously you guys would have not been in. It's not impressive to watch backtesting if I'm just skipping back to candles, right, and then taking a trade which you could call hindsight after this second candle prints. So I'll just take the 1 minute there. Either way, got my 1-to-1 there, and that'll be me done for the day. I assume we do go up and run this low resistance that leads up to this unfilled hourly. Yeah, so there could be there's a nice 2-minute there. I assume this prints. Obviously, I only take one trade. Yeah, so call that price perfectly there. Really nice displacement higher off of the 5-minute continuation. You could tell from the way we delivered from this low right here that we were going to go to this unfilled 1 hour, which I called at the start as kind of our confirmed draw on liquidity. Even if price is going to be bearish overall to this low, I'd still anticipate a little bit of a pullback there to that unfilled hourly. Okay, so straight on to the next day. Nice winning day there. So we have extreme. Is it a data low? Yeah, it is a data low. It is CPI. If I look at, no, it's NFP. So NFP data low intact right there. Okay, so this is an interesting one because this low obviously is a low that manipulated. I mean, to be honest, guys, in this scenario, we are so far away from the data low. I can't really bring this into play yet because simply how far away we are in proximity from this actual low. So what we have done here is we've tapped into this 4-hour. So this will kind of be my condition right now to see how we react from this 4-hour, and then I can potentially short back down to this data low or look for continuation longs higher up to this 4-hour intermediate high that we have resting above as well. So simply play a price of open, see if we have any lower time frame conditions here. Yes, we have a 30-minute fair value gap here. So if we inverse this, I'd definitely be open to continuation shorts, right? So something like this, I inverse this, and then we get potentially a continuation short out of a 5-minute here. And this is why before every session, guys, I always post pre-market scenarios in my Discord, is because I want to be thinking of a scenario in my head that I'd like to play out for both bullish and bearish, and then I'll watch the live markets. When that plays out, I'm not thinking, oh, do I take this? I already know that that's my scenario. So as it plays out, I know how to execute. It's a lot easier to execute when you have pre-market scenarios marked out. So I know now if we get this inverse of the 30-minute and then a perfect like 5-minute continuation short here, I'll be in without any hesitation, right? And the same for longs as well. if we were to inverse this 4 hour at 10 a.m. So let's see what prices have opened. We have some nice built up LR below us here. See how market opens. Okay, so if we'd have had a nice V-shape there off of open, nice Judas swing higher, I would have potentially took that, but just no clean time frame inverse there. Just because of the low resistance below, and obviously we're delivering at that 4 hour as well. So looks like I'm going to have to wait for continuation shorts now to potentially short this data low. Just because there was no clean inverse there. 15 minute, here's there a 15 minute? There's not really, there's a small 15 minute up there, but that is it. So we're heavily disrespecting that here. Let's see what price action does here. If we get a continuation here, I'd be very, very interested. Maybe we can get a resweep on that high in a continuation. So 30 minute closes in 3 minutes. I'm going to actually play the rest of the 30 minute candle. So we respect the 30 minute here. Surprisingly, have we got any more conditions here? So we have a 15 minute here, which is going to be my new condition, because obviously we've respected that 30 minute, but now we have this 15 minute that we can use as a condition here. This 15 minute bearish. Let's see if we respect this or disrespect this. If we respect this, I'm going to highly be anticipating the data low. So we potentially have a 5 minute here. See how price reacts to the 5 minute. I won't be long in this close to data low, that is for sure. So I can skip these 5 minute candles. And yeah, so price has just traded away. Now, you might be thinking, well, what about this continuation long? I would never take a continuation long here. We are 180 points in this scenario, but we're very much in the range towards the data low. We're delivering out the 15 minute. Even if there was a continuation long in here, I'd never take this. We're just too close to data low. We're bouncing out the 15 minute. I think that's just way too risky. So personally, that is not the type of trade that I would take. So 10 a.m. has obviously manipulated lower, then displaced higher. Let's see what we continue to do here. Should go back to the high now, I assume. Based on that reaction. Yeah, back to this high there. Let's see if we hit this 4 hour high. Just one of those days, guys, where the draw on liquidity just... Obviously, my draw's the data low already, but price just has not given me that confirmation towards it that I'd be looking for. I would have took this 5 minute inversion. We didn't get it. So, nothing super clear here. So, we potentially have an end of session continuation short here. So, we're putting a 5 minute gap there. 5 minute gap resting above. So there's the close there for a potential 5 minute continuation. What time are we at? We are at 11:06. So I wouldn't enter this simply because of the time. It looks like a good continuation. We're obviously delivering at the 4 hour. We've remanipulated the high inside of that 4 hour gap. I wouldn't take this because of the time, personally. I'll tape read this, obviously. Let's see if this would have worked or not. Obviously, it's outside of my trading time. We did not quite get the CISD. Especially with the time, if I were to take this, if it was like 10 minutes earlier inside the macro, I would have took this, but I would have targeted a 1-to-1. And yeah, that would have hit. So, sucks it was outside my trading time there, or very close to. Technically, it was valid for me to take a trade inside that time, but I would very rarely take that. So, let's see if these data lows hit overnight and go to next day open. Just got to stick to your rules in backtesting as well, guys, just to make sure you're getting that accurate data set. If I take one trade a day, then take one trade a day in backtesting. If I don't trade outside of a certain time, if you don't trade PM session, what's the point in backtesting all day up until PM session? It makes no sense. So backtest the hours you trade, follow the rules you use in live time, and try and make backtesting as much of a realistic experience as possible. So we've still left the data lows below here, which leads me to believe that we're probably going to trade away from them now, based on how we're going here. We have a new week opening gap here that has been completely filled, and we continue to displace higher. I think this 4 hour high right now and unfilled daily is my draw. So unfilled daily above here is definitely my draw. Let's see if we can get a trade towards this off of open. We have really nice stacked liquidity above here, providing we don't run this. Let's see if we have any conditions that we can use to long towards this. Doesn't look like we do at the moment. So let's see. Price might just rip straight up here. Yeah. Still got some of this. Well, we've still got the high of the low resistance intact, but that was a really nice Judas swing there. But again, no high time frame delivery anyway, so we just wait and play a price here. No potential setups here. Let's see what we're delivering from to the left. So we've swept out this 15 minute low. We've left relative equal highs here that are leading up towards this unfilled daily. There was a 2 minute inverse there. I just don't like the lack of low resistance here, to be honest, guys. I'd want to see this how this 5 minute reacts. We have a lack of low resistance in close proximity. Like you're targeting just a dump here, which is not what you want to be doing. So we'll see if we potentially get this 5 minute inverse, which we don't. We just respect. Yeah, we just come lower there. So you want to see liquidity generated here if we're going to take a long. Looks like sometimes it's not quite 10 a.m. so I'm not sure what that candle is. Okay, 5 minute. Let's see if we inverse the 5. Wow, we still haven't inversed the 5. Another one of those days where we just have poor price action. I mean, I'm still bullish here. Look how much liquidity we're generating above here. We're inside these huge gaps to the left. This hourly gap still hasn't broken. So I'm still bullish here, just not getting any type of good long setups, to be honest. There's potentially a long setup down here. Yeah. Yeah, nothing even super clean down here. Like the 3 minute invalidated because we had such a strong close. So nothing great there. Potentially a 3 minute here. Okay, so there's a potential 3 minute there, but again, we're getting really late in the session here, and we've got low resistance at your stop loss, which is completely not what you want to see here. I mean, we're still respecting this hourly quite nicely. I do still think we go up here, but this is just not the type of setups you want. So we're inside of a 5. Let's see if this 5 closes. Okay, the 5 respected anyway there. And obviously when it's not super clear, you want to wait for that 5 minute inversion there, which we didn't get. So, and then we get on the next candle. So this is pretty much the exact same concept as the last trade, guys, on the end of the previous day. This will probably work. The problem for me is the time of day that this is at, and also the fact that it's a 5. I would never enter a 5 minute trade around 11 a.m. If I was to enter around 11 a.m., I'd enter like a 1 minute with targeting maybe 20 points. This is like a 45 point move. This should play out. Let's see. Okay, no. So we closed back above that high, so I would have probably took a break even there, but as well as the low resistance at your stop, definitely a good fade there. Let's go to next day. See, guys, this is what I said at the start of the session. It's very much a lesson in learning to avoid losing trades is backtesting, as well as just catching win. Anyone can catch the winners, guys. The winners are textbook. If you've been trading for longer than sort of 3 to 6 months, you'll know exactly what a good winning trade's like. That's not the difficult part about trading. The difficult part is avoiding the losses, which hopefully you guys are learning something from in this video. So we're displacing higher now. Obviously, we have that data low, which I'm not super concerned about. We have a lot of liquidity resting above here. So I'm flipping bias a little bit on the higher time frame here. We're inside of a daily gap, but the longer we disrespect this, the more we keep disrespecting this, the more I will remain bullish. And of course, on the lower time frame here, respecting 4 hours, disrespecting bearish gaps as well, and obviously not showing any sign of rejecting out of this huge 4 hour gap yet, almost like filling this gap. So we'll see what happens off a market open here. Okay, we've manipulated lower, putting a 930 wick there. In terms of deliveries to the left, we don't really have anything super clean here. We have an unfilled hourly, so this would be kind of my confirmed DOL at this point. I'd want to see this unfilled 1 hour get tapped into. For sure. So let's see if we do get that. We've kind of got some nice liquidity leading up to this as well. So I definitely anticipate this getting tapped into. Okay, there we go. There's that tapped. Are we going to see a bullish reaction from this? Okay, so we do actually have an inversion here on the 1 minute. This again is where you just don't really have much liquidity to target, and of course you've always got to be targeting some type of low resistance liquidity. At the minute here, we just don't have enough liquidity to target. Obviously, we're super bullish. We're delivering nicely out the hourly. Delivering nicely out the hourly, which is obviously sponsored by this 4 hour. I mean, this 1 minute makes perfect sense. I mean, we do have low time, a little bit of low time frame stacked highs here. This could, yeah, you gotta wait for more liquidity here. I'll wait for a resweep. If we don't get one, then that's fine. Okay, so there's the resweep here. So now we have more low resistance. So I've waited for that resweep. We've had a V shape there. We've got a more obvious 30-second. No, so that's the 1 minute and the 30-second. The problem here is, again, I'm still not a huge fan of this because we're still trending down. And when we're trending down like this and we don't have that much built up liquidity, I want to see a CISD as well, or something that gives me that little bit more confirmation. Obviously, we have that nice manipulation leg here. I'd want to see probably a CISD here to be able to take this and have confidence that we're going to run up to this unfilled 5 minute, I believe. Yeah, unfilled 5 minute that is resting that it's resting right here. So I do have a lot of conviction in this. We have tapped the 50% as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this 1 minute. If we get the CISD, I will enter into this for sure. Okay, there's the CISD. I mean, yeah, I knew I could have front run that for sure. So stop at the low, just target a 1-to-1 here. Should have definitely front ran that, so it's a little bit annoying there, but let's see if this plays out. So we have obviously the high time frame delivery here from the hourly gap. Sweep on the intermediate lows. We have a 1 minute with the CISD as well. Low resistance liquidity leading up to an unfilled 5 minutes. So that 5 minutes our confirmed draw, and then we should just try to get a 1-to-1 on this trade. See if this plays out. Okay, there's the 5 minute. I'll go break even at the 5 minute there. We shouldn't stall. And there's full TP. So nice 1-to-1 there. Obviously, you could have definitely front ran that if you had the conviction. You don't need to wait for the CISD there. And again, you could have got a little bit more risk reward, but I've still got my 1-to-1. I've still got my base hit. And at the end of the day, I entered when I truly had my own conviction there, when I had enough conviction to enter that for a 1-to-1, which I did there. I waited for that change in the state, which you do not have to do, of course. I just waited for that little bit of extra confirmation. I could have missed out there. We could have got a monster candle that ran through half of this low resistance and also hit the unfilled 5. So a little bit fortunate there, but yeah, great trade. You wait for the confirmation if you need it. Obviously, when we're downtrending like this, then you've just got to be a little bit more careful. But after tapping this hourly, we shouldn't need much more of a retrace. So really nice 1-to-1 there. Let's see if we continue the uptrend higher. Yeah, which we do. So this is the thing about base hits as well, guys. Like, obviously you could say here you could have targeted that high and then got a 2.2 hour, and I'm not denying that would have been so much better, but I was in and out of this trade within 3 candles, so that's 3 minutes, as opposed to sitting through all this and then being in the trade for around 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes. So obviously it's obviously worth it, but in terms of base hits, there's so many positives to taking base hits. A lot of the time, my point is there, a lot of the time this will end up chopping around and then eventually tap you out at break even, or if you haven't gone break even, hit your stop loss. So base hits are just not only super good in terms of stacking up your accounts and for prop firm consistency, also really good for your psychology as well. If you struggle with psychology, you will not be able to sit through this. That's the point. You will end up exiting the trade manually while sitting through all this anyway. And obviously 1-to-1's great for your psychology. Anyway, so onto the next day here. We've filled that 4-hour gap and we've stopped displacing through it. So as you can see here, filled the gap, stopped displacing through it. We've started to come down now. So the 4 hours no good for our bias here. We're delivering at the 4 hour and the daily. We need to use the lower time frame here. So the hourly we're also respecting here. So looking more bearish here. The only problem for me right now is we haven't really disrespected any bullish. We're disrespecting these 15-minute and 30-minute gaps, but we haven't really disrespected any bullish high time frame gaps yet, which we have this 4 hour here, which I'll keep an eye out for. And we also have these stacked hourlies down here as well. So yeah, let's play price off of open, see what we get. I'm open to shorts here. Looks like we have a really nice low to target there as well. Yeah, nice V-shaped low there. Let's see what happens off of open here. So we manipulate lower. Yeah, so our only draw here really is this 4 hour intermediate low. It definitely looks like the draw. So we can look for continuations down to this for sure. We have unfilled 5 minute above there. So there's the unfilled 5 minute. So we've got a V-shape from these 5 minutes. Already delivering from a 15 minute up here. I think this could definitely work. We've got a lot of bearish displacement down here towards this 4 hour low. If you look at is there a better time frame here? Okay, this is really all we've got to go off. The gap is obviously sponsored by this 15. So we've got a 5 minute continuation sponsored by a 15. Which basically, if you're unfamiliar, literally means we're delivering from a 15, then we've displaced down in this leg, we've generated a 5 minute. So this 5 minute is also, price has been delivered from this 15 minute when it generates the 5 minute. That's literally all that means. So for this trade, we've got a 1 minute change in the state and 1 minute inversion. My worry here, guys, as you will be aware, is liquidity. Is my stop loss truly more high resistant here? We have low resistance liquidity above, and we only have 2 stack lows here. So I will be fading this setup simply due to liquidity. Obviously, I think general direction we go lower, but I think we could definitely get something like this first. I'm not, obviously I don't know that, but I'm not willing to accept the risk here. So see if this plays out anyway. Yeah, so that did play out anyway. I may, yeah, I mean, I will got break even on that trade if that's how we would have managed it. Stop at the high there, 42 points for a 1-to-1, and I would have gone break even at the low here. So that would have been break even for me anyway. So just saved some emotional capital there in live time, and then I imagine we go up and run this low resistance from before. So potential continuation here. If we had this, we don't even have a 3. If we had a delivery here, I'd be willing to take this. I'm very confident in this playing out for sure. We have a CISD as well. We have this low resistance above. 1-to-1 there. We have this low resistance liquidity resting above. The problem is here, I'm still high time frame bearish. And we don't really need to go back to this 15 minutes. So I need more in my favor here when taking trades against my bias. We don't even have a 3 or a 5 minute delivery here. So unfortunately, I can't take this, but in terms of liquidity, this does look good. If we just had that high time frame alignment with this low time frame liquidity, that'd be super nice. But unfortunately, in this case, we don't, and that would have stopped me out. Yeah, that would have stopped me out anyway. So that's why I need to align high time frame with low time frame market structure, and then that's when you get your really high quality setups. So approaching the end of the day here, we could have a 5 minute inverse there. Yeah, so the 5 minutes broke. We've just generated more liquidity at the highs here, which makes this difficult. Obviously, this low resistance liquidity above does not align with our higher time frame, but it's still there, and it's still a strong draw. So it's got to be careful. I'd like a long from this intermediate low, to be honest, if we got it from the far intermediate low. We're generating a lot of liquidity there. Okay, this could be really good. We've generated so much liquidity here. So many failure swings. Let's see if we get a nice reaction from here. And that 30-second is actually broke there, and we also have a 30-second CISD. This could be super good. I mean, if this fails, have we got a 1 minute or a 2? We're in a 2. So we're delivering out the 4. Delivering out the 4 hour, we have a sweep on the 4 hour intermediate low. I think I'm definitely willing to accept the risk on this trade, to be honest, because we have high time frame. Well, we have higher time frame LR above. We have low time frame LR down here. Of course, I could wait for this 2 minute, but it's just not the greatest candle close. I'm going to wait for the next 30-second candle here, because that's a really, really weak close, and we also have this 2 minute. So with that stall in that, I'm going to wait for the 2 here. Is that the 2 minute close? We've still got 1 candle left, 1 minute left. Okay, so I've probably bottled this trade, which I'm fine with. I just simply didn't have the conviction here. I'm still more bearish on the higher time frame. I could definitely still take this for a 1-to-1. It's 11 PM as well. This all leads up to an unfilled 5 minute. Yeah, so I'll definitely accept the risk here. This 5 minute is a confirmed ER. We have a 5 minute CISD, target a 1-to-1. We have a unfilled 15 minute. Yeah, unfilled 15 minute here as our confirmed DOL. We have an unfilled 5 minute just slightly above, and we have this low resistance here as well as a 2 minute inversion with a CISD on top of that. So definitely willing to take this. If we don't tap into this unfilled 15, I'll take the loss, because there's just no way we don't. That's the famous last words. But yeah, the bottom line is I'd happily take a loss on this 100%. We should definitely tap into this unfilled 15. Okay, we tapped into it there, and I should have been at break even. I think I'm at break even there. Let me see if I can make sure. Yeah, make sure I get actual break even here for the stats. Yeah, so I've skipped too quickly. Should have gone break even there. Do not want this to hit my TP. Just for the stats, because I definitely would have got break even here. Okay, there we go. So should have got, obviously if I'd left that to hit TP, but I would have got break even in live time there. So definitely should have. I'm not messing with a 15-minute gap there when it's against my draw. Obviously, if that was only a 5-minute gap, I'd have probably waited to close above it. But with it being a 15-minute gap as well, there's just no way I'm letting that run. So we'll take the break even there. Not trying to skew my data by letting that run hit the TP. Okay, so we have CPI day, all the high impact news in this session. So we have CPI day here. Data low. I mean, obviously super strong draw, but look how far away in proximity we are from this data low here. Very, very far indeed. So yeah, I mean, we're approaching this high time frame LR above. We are, yeah, we're very much bullish here. It looks like we're going to reverse this daily if we've. So I'll be looking for continuation longs, providing that price trades away from this data low. So unfilled 30-minute here. As long as price continues to trade away from this data low, I'll be completely okay with it. The data low was obviously swept out another low. It manipulated lower. If we start, I need to wait for evidence that we're actually going to trade towards this data low for me to look for trades towards it, if that makes sense. So let's see what price does off a market open here. I'd assume we do tap into this 30-minute, which we do. And we get an instant continuation long. Now, this is just so high in premium for me. There's no way I would take this, and we don't really have that much generated liquidity either, unless we have something super strong to the left here. Okay, what actually is this candle? That's the question. Okay, so that's FOMC. If that's a 1 minute data high, then I've got a slightly different view on this trade, but no, it's not. It's not a 1 minute data high. So was the high from FOMC, but it's not the 1 minute data high. Let's see if this plays out here this long. Definitely could, which it does. And straight to the highs. So yeah, I mean, just very high in premium there, not enough low resistance liquidity. Obviously super bullish, but when we have this magnet below, I'm not taking the first setup off of open there. So I'll try to look for a continuation long here. Obviously with a higher time frame delivery here, we can potentially tap into this 15-minute now. Yeah, so tapped into the 15-minute. Now the problem we have, guys, is we've just swept out an intermediate high, so not great here. Not great at all. I do not like longing when we just swept out a high. So very bearish here. We are, let's see if we inverse on the, okay, so we respect the 15-minute there. We have low resistance above, but this is just such, even if we have low time frame LR, this is just such a high resistant high, right? We've just swept out a super obvious 4-hour high. I need to see displacement through this before I will then take a long again hit up here. This is just way too 50-50 for me. I want to see displacement through the high, and we should, yeah, this is what I thought. We will struggle re-hitting this high here because it's just so high resistant. And I already know when something like that happens, I won't end up taking another trade. If we hit a draw like this without me getting a setup towards it, I know I'm not going to end up taking a trade. Because when we come up that quick, there's no potential reversals or, if you like, mech models or reversal setups to take from that, because we've came up way too quickly and there's zero generated liquidity below whatsoever. So you have to be really patient there and just wait for the high to either hit or for us to heavily trade away from it. And this is exactly the type of price action you can expect, and we hit it at 11.30. So on to next day open here. We have, okay, so we've reacted nicely from this, from the low resistance above, and we've also, okay, we've just failed to tap into this unfilled daily that I realized we had above. Failed to tap into the unfilled daily there, but low time frame price action is suggesting more bearish until we react. So we've got an unfilled hourly here. We also have a 4-hour that we're reacting from. So let's see if we react from this 4-hour or not. And we've got extreme fall in knife structure below here. So we have a 930 wick above. Let's see if we get a potential 30-second here, which we do not. Okay, very slow off of open here. We're just displacing through these high time frame gaps, so not really any way to long here when we're just displacing through these gaps. I still think we go to this 930 wick above, but no way we're going to get a nice setup up there. Yeah, so there's the 930 wick. I think continuation longs here, guys, will be the best play. We have some generated liquidity above. We have the unfilled daily above, and which I still think we need to hit, and we're respecting these gaps quite nicely. So Continuation longs here are definitely the best type of trade that you could take. This 5... How did I not see that 5 minute? Okay, that's annoying. How did I not see that 5 minute? That 5 minute could have been so good for once. We've got the CISD as well. It's the problem when backtesting, you can miss stuff like this, and look how quickly that went to 1-to-1. So would have definitely took that in live time, but I hate doing that in backtesting because obviously everyone in the comments will be saying that I'm manipulating. If you've got to this point in the video, let me know what you think about if I see a setup that I would have took, going back and taking it. I believe it's very difficult to say because you could always take different things in live time to what you actually think you would. Let me know in the comments what you think about it and if you do it or not when you're backtesting. I personally don't, but let me know. So we have a data low below here almost. We have a 50. We have a data low below. This is the type of setup that I generally think is like a 50-50 play. I just don't think we have the confirmation here to know that this is going to get hit yet. We have a CISD, we have a 1 minute inversion, sorry, a 30-second inversion and a 1 minute inversion here. We're delivering from a 15-minute fair value gap. We have swept out an intermediate high as well, so our high is technically protected. And we have this super obvious data low below here. These are just the setups. Obviously, it's against the higher time frame here. There's no doubt about that. We're more bullish on the higher time frame. We've inversed this hourly just then. And we've swept out the highs in the higher time frame. Yeah, I think... Are we delivering from anything? Yeah, we're delivering from the... We have no high time frame delivery here. We just don't have a high time frame delivery from at the highs there. So we only have a 15-minute. I'm gonna fade this setup just because we have no low resistance and we don't have any high time frame delivery besides that 15-minute. So I almost think this would work, like the continuation counter trade to this of the trade losing with the low resistance above. I generally think this would work. Delivering from that rejection wick. Obviously, this is a data low, but it's completely against the higher time frame. I genuinely believe that this is the setup here that plays out and goes to TP. So obviously stop loss at the low. Obviously I won't take it with a data low below like that. This is again the other. I generally think this trade here, the short was like a 50-50. I think this is about a 60-40. So I think this has a high chance of playing out. And yeah, there we go. So that's just general screen time there. I could fully tell that what was going to happen there, like because the short was failing, the long would work. It's more in line with the bias. Made perfect sense there. So let's see if we can get a continuation here. We have a 5 minute here. This would be nice. We still have our high time frame draws intact, but we just don't have much generated liquidity. So we have a 5 minute there. So that's a 5 minute continuation, but just don't really have much generated liquidity, and my 30-second time frame just disappeared. Yeah, again, no generated liquidity here, so I won't take this. Yeah, that's what can happen. We can sometimes just generate liquidity like that. We get that manipulation. Okay, so we've had a manipulation like there. We've tapped into a 15-minute, so this is a better continuation here. 15-minute delivery. We faded the one where there's less liquidity. Now we have a failure swing here. And we have these relative equal highs as well, these sort of triple relative equal highs at the high. So this is the better trade here. Stop loss around 6% of that wick and target a 1-to-1 for that high. But we do have some generated liquidity. And we also have delivery from a 15-minute gap here. So let's see if this plays out. So just run over the confluences, obviously delivering from the hourly and the 4 hour below. We are delivering from a 15-minute right here. I believe that my draw here is the unfilled daily that we still haven't tapped into. And I think we continue this bullish trend based off that 4 hour reaction. So let's see what happens. See what happens here. Okay, a bit of drawdown there. So we've closed back above this high. So we've come into drawdown, closed above this high, delivered from the change in the state here. And not delivered from the rejection wick, not the change in the state, sorry. And we've closed back above this high that took us down. So I'll go break even here. We shouldn't retrace it again now. Boom, and there's TP. So great trade, very almost stopped out there. Good stop loss placement, but maybe should have gone at the low. But yeah, after already delivering here, given it enough room there, and then we've came back. Respected this inception gap as well, which is what I should have really said. We respected this inception gap and then came up higher, and then swept out our highs for our 1-to-1. So another good trade there. So on reflection, guys, we're actually on a Monday here. So I am going to end up here. It seems like a perfect time to end up. We've just started a Monday. Obviously, that full week was finished. So let's see how the backtesting session is currently going. This is, by the way, from the last backtesting session. These 2 days are combined. So my last backtesting video and also this one are combined. This is how we have done on this session. I cannot remember what date we started. I think it was the 2nd. So yeah, I think it was. Okay, I accidentally took two winning trades on that day, which is on me. But yeah, this is how we've gone. I believe this session was. Yeah, I think it was 4 wins. So I must not have took a trade on that. It must be Wednesday, Thursday. Must have been from Wednesday onwards. So we took 4 wins and a break even in this session. Really good backtesting session, guys. If you have any questions at all to ask me about trading in general, my strategy, anything like that, make sure to DM me on Discord. Join my Discord anyway. It's where I trade and give like free education, live trading, everything like that is in my Discord. So join my Discord. It's one of the top links in the description. And yeah, any questions at all, drop me a message. Make sure to subscribe for more free educational content. And I'll see you guys in the next backtesting session.